Happy New Year, happy 2024. I hope you're all well. I'm actually filming this on New Year's Day. I don't know when you'll be watching this, but I hope you're not feeling too hungover. I hope if you've gone back to work this week, your week is off to a good start. I hope whatever you did, you had a really good time. I have been too sick to do anything, so I stayed in, but I had a really nice time. I just chilled, set out my intentions for the year. I did like a vision board background for my phone. Welcome to my first video of 2024. If you're new, my name's Charlotte. Welcome. I hope you stay a little while, enjoy. If you've been here before, welcome back. And yeah, just a massive thank you to everyone that has subscribed to my channel or watched my videos in 2023. I started my YouTube channel in February of 2023 and so it's nearly been a year. I'm just very excited, very happy to be here. If you are on TikTok, I'm sure you've seen this whole concept of people's 2024 ins and outs. If you haven't seen the trend, it's anything from like habits, hobbies, lifestyle choices, trends, patterns, materialistic things, or just general ways of life that people are bringing into 2024 with them, or that they are taking out for 2024. They're leaving in 2023. So like what's in for them this year or what's out for them. I've been seeing so many of those. I thought it would be fun. I started thinking about what my personal ins and outs are, and it's not huge. It's not a huge list. It could be super simple, it could be super surface level, so it could be like red is in, blue is out for me. That's not the case, but that's just an example. I thought it might be nice if we go through what my ins and outs are. I'm going to alternate between them, talk to you about my reasoning behind them. I'm not going to lie, it's not that deep. Don't let my ins and outs make you feel any kind of way. I definitely had that weird kind of introspective moment looking at other people's, like, should I be setting myself goals? This is all just a bit of fun. Will I stick to these? Hopefully. Does it matter if I don't? No. I've spoken about this before, and while a lot of people find New Year's very helpful for this kind of new year, new me, this goal setting, this resolution making, actually if we look historically at what people are doing in winter, especially at this time of year, throughout the years, throughout the ages, people are hunkering down, people are hibernating, people are going internal, inverse, introspective. Now is the time for sowing seeds and resting and nourishing, and for me spring is like the natural new year. This video is a little bit of fun. I hope it doesn't make you feel any kind of way about what you're doing with your life or like you should be doing something with your life. If it does, just don't watch it today. That's not the energy I want for anyone. My ins are quite broad, they're more like conceptual, whereas my outs are quite specific. So without further ado, my first in is library card. I really want to start utilising the library more in 2024. I used the library a lot when I was younger, and I just haven't as an adult. I haven't signed up, I haven't gotten a card. There's a really good library in Brighton, it's massive, it's really nice and modern. Why is someone that reads as much as me not utilising the library? Obviously I have a huge pile of physical books to get through, but in the interest of like sustainability and spending less and not over consuming as well, the library's a great resource. You don't have to spend your money there. I just don't know why I've never done this before, but the library is in this year. I think it was a laziness thing. This ties in very well with my first out, which is buying books. I know what you're thinking. I'm gonna say buying books for the first 6 months of 2024. I've allowed myself 3 books to buy, but that's because I was meant to buy them yesterday to kind of escape my own rule. It's just the end books of a series that I've already started buying, but they're cheap. I'm gonna buy them secondhand, that kind of thing. I would say as a general rule, I personally actually don't own that many physical books. I'm not one of these people that has like floor to ceiling shelves, purely because I don't have the space. If I did have a space where I could decorate and like put up books and stuff like that, I would own a lot more, but that's just not the way my space is laid out. And from where I'm sitting, I'm looking at a rather large pile of books for me, small by some people's collections, but I just don't need to buy any books. I honestly, my physical TBR is like 25-30 books big at this point, if not more. I'm reading like 1 to 2 physical books a month. I have books in here in this pile that I bought in Christmas 2022. I'm looking at one right now. The thing is, I love buying books, like it brings me so much joy, but I just don't need to. I have a Kindle Unlimited subscription and I've been buying books on Kindle, and I will admit they are cheaper, But again, there is hundreds and thousands of free books on Kindle. I keep buying Kindle books and neglecting my 30 book strong TBR right in front of me. I plan to get a library card. With my library card, I should be good for 6 months, like absolutely good for 6 months. Don't get me wrong, I am going to try really, really hard to extend this to the whole year, but I think giving myself a 6-month kind of starting point is a really good shout. Although, do you know what I will say, and I'm going to spend it soon, I have a £50 Waterstones gift voucher that I got for Christmas, so that doesn't count because that's already paid for. But buying books with my own money. I have so many friends that I can borrow books from. I would happily do like book trades with people online. I want to get through my TBR, and even so, if I read one book from my TBR a week, which I don't know if that's gonna happen, if I read one book from my TBR a week, that would see me through like most of the year. I wouldn't even need to buy a Kindle book. This is also like not to shame people for buying like a shit ton of books, by the way, because if I had the money and the space, I absolutely would be doing the same thing, but I just don't need to. For me personally, I look at this, I just think like, what am I doing, Shah? Like, come on, get reading, babe. Read some of these books. Loads of them are short as well because I like to buy short physical books. My next in for 2024 is California Sober. I feel like I can't really discuss this too much at length. I kind of think it's the like, if you know, you know thing, and I really hate that phrase. Like, it really annoys me. If you know, you know, or it gives me the ick. But if you know, you know. One of the best things I did last year was Sober October, because in the 3 short months it's been since then, it has completely reformed my relationship with alcohol. I had an almost completely sober Christmas. I had a glass of Prosecco on Christmas Day and that was it. I am just really off drinking alcohol at the moment, and it feels really good. I've just organised like pretty much a sober birthday celebration for me. So instead of a pub trip, which I'd always do, I've just organised to go for dinner, and I don't think I'm going to be drinking. California Sober obviously alludes to not drinking but feeling relaxed, which is not a super regular occurrence to me, but a preference. So I think overarchingly that's my preference this year. And now I do say this, I'd like to preface this with 2 things. I am going on holiday in 2 weeks to an all-inclusive resort, and I will be hammering those drinks. Those all-inclusive cocktails are so nice, but drinking on holiday is a very different ball game. So special occasions like holidays are kind of excluded from that remit. I can't say that I'm going fully sober this year because that's not really in my plan. It's not something I want to like commit to and say that I'm doing, because I don't mind like a beer every now and then. Also, this is over the winter, which has been much easier. I do love like a cold pint in the summer. I just think I'm leaning that way, where alcohol is slowly being removed out of my life and I'm not missing it, which is really refreshing. It's more that I don't like the habits that I had formed around alcohol, so kind of drinking as a stress response after work. You know, I've spoken about this at such great length in some of my other videos. I won't labour the point too much, but that's the vibe for me in 2024. One thing that I'm so glad to see the back of, and that is so out for me in 2024, is Klarna. Klarna, Clearpay, any of those like buy now, pay later, pay in 3-part, you know, those online shopping-y credit things. They are so evil and marketed towards like young people, and marketed in such a light and fluffy way. Like, they literally don't affect your credit score or will show up on your credit searches. Not to like out myself here, but I think money should be talked about more with young people, and like personally, me and my friends always say this, there's not enough like financial transparency in the world. I was a huge user of Klarna last year and the year before, so 23, 22, and for the most part like I was pretty good paying it off on time, but I did stretch it and see how long I could go without paying it, and like nothing makes you worry like money, and I was making like stupid purchases on it because I had like the card and I would do the pay in 3, and the thing that really gave me some clarity around it was I saw a tweet that said, by the time you're done paying for an item of clothing in 3-part pay, you don't like the item anymore. It made me feel so unwell because I was like, yeah, why am I buying like one top that I can afford in one go, but splitting it in 3 parts so I can only pay like a £5 a time for one event? And it's now September and the event was in July. Now, I'm not judging anyone that uses Klarna because it really came through for me at some really sticky times. But if you have a bit of a track record like me of making poor financial decisions, it is not geared to help you. It is geared to get you in more debt. I will say it was great at some points for like doing big orders and returning stuff when you knew you were going to make a lot of returns, but I don't know, it's just spending money you don't have, isn't it? That's the danger of it all. You shouldn't spend money you don't have, and that's what that is. I'm just trying to be like a bit fiscally smarter this year, which I know is a privilege in itself. I just have so many horror stories of girls who are like 18, like my colleagues, my peers, 18, opening credit cards, opening Klarna accounts, opening Clearpay, and getting themselves into a huge amount of debt for literal clothes. Like it's a big red flag in itself that, let's say I wanted to buy a top that was £25 and I would look at it and I'd be like, oh, I don't really want to get it, it's £25, and I'd see it had Klarna available and I'd be like, oh, I'll get it then. So why in the first instance did I not recognise that I just didn't want this £25 top? That Klarna is not free. But like I said, you might be smarter than me. These are my mistakes. I don't wish to be judged for them. I am not judging you for them. I just think it's unnecessary. We don't need it. It encourages overconsumption and overspending. So I've broken up with Klarna. I actually don't have any online shopping apps on my phone. I haven't for ages. I haven't got the Klarna app. I've never used Clearpay. Everything's paid off with them. It has been for a while, and they are out of my radar completely. Let's keep it on the financial track. So next in for me is low spend months. I've always been really fascinated with people who are doing low buy or zero spend 2024. I love consuming content about financial literacy. Money gives me really bad anxiety. I have had a very problematic relationship with money. I'm gonna blame it on my ADHD. I know that's a bit of a card, but I am dopamine chasing. I'm tapping that card. I'm a lot better at it now. I'm a lot smarter, but this is not something that's taught in schools. So anything that's kind of about budgeting, investing, financial literacy, I eat it up. So I've been watching online on YouTube and on TikTok a lot of people who are doing like zero spend years and only buying things that are completely necessary. So like food, things they run out of that they need to replace that aren't like considered luxuries. And a lot of these people set themselves rules. So I've seen a couple that are like, no buying new crafting stuff, because we all are terrible with that. And this is where my no buy of books kind of was inspired from. In 2023, at the start of the year, I did a no buy like beauty, or was it 2022? Basically, I didn't buy any beauty, bath, like skincare, self-care products because I had a massive cupboard full of old PR, loads of free gifting stuff that I'd received, loads of Christmas stuff, old makeup bags, my old Space NK advent calendar, and I ended up with like 10 shampoos because I was forgetting and buying stuff and then getting given stuff. So I made it kind of my first half of the year's mission to clear out that cupboard and not buy anything unless it was something from my daily rotation of makeup that I absolutely categorically needed. Even then, need is a bit subjective, I think. Personally for me, it seems very, very ambitious to do a completely zero buy or low spend year. So I'm setting myself up by doing some low spend months. I haven't really established the rules of what this looks like yet, and January's kind of written off because I'm going on holiday. I'm gonna try alternate months, and that seems a bit more manageable for me. What I'm gonna try do is in my phone, whenever I want to buy something, I'm just gonna write it down. I will allow myself some buying if something revisits me and haunts me, and I'll be able to see like how often I'm thinking of this item. So I'm gonna try do it for every month. Every single time I even think about buying something that says a jumper in H&M I want, I'm gonna write jumper from H&M in my notes on my phone. I'm thinking about summarising it on TikTok and being like, here's everything I wanted to buy this month, because I think that would be really interesting. It's really tough because I walk through town on my way home from work, but one thing I will say is I'm not really an online shopper unless I'm absolutely forced to be. So like it's very rare that I will buy something online if the store is in town, because I know that by the time it arrives I won't want it. Again, please don't call me a hypocrite because I've just ordered loads of stuff for my holiday and I'm gonna do a haul on that soon. I've been analysing a lot lately, like consumption in general, and I know that it sounds a bit hypocritical given that I'm like hoping to go into content creation, which basically the whole point of it is to breed overconsumption, but I like to think that I might be able to tread lightly on the earth while I'm in this kind of sphere. Very easy for me to say now as like a micro influencer who doesn't have loads of followers and isn't having stuff thrown at her like left, right and centre. But I also have been analysing like my own desire to buy stuff and like why I want things. How am I being influenced? Like, do the other things I want the things I really want, or am I being told I want it? I don't know. I've been very like looking inwards on a lot of my spending habits and stuff lately, and it seems quite deep, but I promise it's all quite surface level. In that same vein, I've also done the whole like unsubscribing from the emails so I don't get the emails about the offers. I've had a look at a few subscriptions and there's more I need to cancel, but I've cancelled all of that kind of stuff. I'm thinking about getting a different bank card so that the months I do the low spend month, I can really track it properly, but I don't want it to become too anally retentive to the point that I like upset myself if I do like break it and need to buy something. Well, not need to buy something, that's the whole point, but if I want to buy something, I guess it's just forming better financial habits. So if I feel like I need to buy something that's absolutely not a necessity, why do I feel like I need to? I'm very much a spender that will get myself something to cheer myself up, like a nice little treat. And then part of me in the same breath is also like, well, we live in the hellscape, why wouldn't I buy myself a nice little treat? I think the crux of this, which you'll probably figure out, is I do not like having habits tied to emotional stuff. So like feeling stressed, having a drink, feeling sad, buying something. I said this wasn't deep and it's turning out a lot deeper than it meant to be. 2024 out for me, overthinking Instagram. This is a silly little one because I really like uploading Instagram stories, and part of my thing this year was like, I want to upload more reels and I want to post more on my feed because the girlies want to see what I'm up to, and TikTok is more of a video format. I want to improve my Instagram stuff, like I want to enjoy posting on there. I posted 2 reels in the whole of 2023, which was great, but I literally felt so uptight about doing it. But I've just got to stop caring. I went to go check when I last posted yesterday, thinking like, oh, I haven't taken any photos recently. I posted in October. That was the last time I posted. I need to get over like my fear of being perceived on Instagram. Like, it's not that deep, it's just a bit of fun. Instagram is a place where I talk to so many of you on it because I don't have my messages turned on TikTok. So best believe me, when all of you respond to my stories, I do try to get through all of them. And I've made firm friends with like so many of you over messages, like so many of my online friends. So I want to do more on Instagram. Instagram is so much fun for me. This is part of like my wider goal to kind of improve my content across all platforms. I do not want my Instagram to be super curated and like brandy and brand aesthetic. I want my Instagram to be personal. I want it to be fun. I want it to be a good time. I don't care if it looks messy because that's what Instagram is, you know. It's letting go of that. I think I grew up in the OG influencer era of like, the OG influencers were on Instagram. They did have perfect feeds. They had all of this like color coordinated stuff. They were really, really, really popular. It was really easy to grow on Instagram, and I think it's still like a little bit of that is in my head. So let's collectively for 2024 all stop overthinking Instagram. I'm gonna put my Instagram in the description box. I think I post a lot of stories on there, but maybe I could post more. I don't know. What do you want to see from me on Instagram? I need to start repurposing my TikTok content to post in reels, but like I get the fear about talking and like posting those videos on Instagram. You are all gonna like this one, I hope, but my next in is longer videos / higher quality content. I love making long form content like this right here. This is like my baby. This is the thing I enjoy, the thing I want to work on and improve on most the next year. And recently I've been slacking and doing like 10-minute videos, and actually I love doing the 50-minute videos. I love doing the 45 minutes. I guess the whole overarching theme is like quality over quantity. So while I like my little Sunday reflections because I can do a 10-20 minute video, just sit down and film like straight shot, I want to look at ways to improve like my production quality, my image quality, even things in like videos, better shots, more arty shots, you know. I just want to like level up my YouTube and my TikTok, to be honest. I want to try film my TikToks on my camera where I can. I don't know that all of this is going to be possible because I have a full-time job, which makes things very, very difficult, because if I film TikToks on here, I have to edit them on my computer. It becomes like you remove the convenience from the editing process of doing it on my phone. A quick but expensive workaround is to just get a better quality phone, because this is an iPhone 11 and I could just get like an iPhone whatever Pro Max, but we are not spending money on that this year first. Maybe I'll manifest that that will come along, but I want to learn how to do it all better. I want to spend more time on it. If that means that I'm putting out slightly less content on TikTok, or it's taking me longer to film and edit my videos on YouTube, fine, so be it. I just need to be more organised. Most of the time I'm so proud of what I put out, but this last month I've noticed the less planned I am with my videos, the lower quality of my videos, and I'm not sure any of you will notice, and if you do, I'm sorry, and if you haven't, fine, carry on as usual. But a little bit of planning goes such a long way in executing like a video that I'm proud of. When I started my YouTube, I would plan my thumbnails, I would plan the multiple like ambient B-roll shots, so the shots where there's just like me walking around my house or me like writing down something, you know, all that kind of like filler footage. I would plan out what I was going to film for that. Don't get me wrong, I think there's a part of me that will always be unhappy with my videos based on the fact that I don't have a set space for filming, based on the fact that my house I would consider like not to my aesthetic. But I would be lying if I said that it didn't like get to me every now and then, watching videos of YouTubers I really admire and seeing how easily aesthetic their content is, and knowing that visuals are a huge part of what draw people in. But there is absolutely categorically no point sitting there and being like, well, I would have double the subscribers if my house was all like white and swish and minimal, because that's not the house I want and we'll never know because that's not the life I live. So I think it's about doing the best with what you've got. Anyway, it's not about the background or the quality of my background. That's just me hyperfixating on something that really bothers me. It's about what can I do to level up that production quality. What can I do to make my videos longer? If that means that I'm filming one video on my day off instead of 3, to really take the time and discuss what I'm discussing, really take the time and get the footage, then so be it. I didn't watch YouTube for a little while because I went off it a little bit. I just didn't have the time, but I've been watching a lot of people that I find inspirational. I've been looking at people that I would consider the best, that I love their content, I love their production quality. I've been seeing what they're doing. I've been like DMing people like, how do you do this? What equipment do you use for this? XYZ. I've been thinking about my personal brand, like, do I want an intro? I don't have an intro on my videos. A lot of people do. I don't know, this is my baby. I just want to like feed it a bit more. I want to make it even more of a delight to watch. I didn't mean to go career mode, I just haven't spoken like about this to anyone, and it's obviously just something I'm passionate about, so yeah, you got the brunt of it there. This is going to be a challenging out for me, but buying coffee is out. Caffeine in general, I think. I stopped buying Starbucks because of the ongoing like human rights atrocities in Gaza, and Starbucks was like the only coffee shop that was a chain that I would buy coffee from, so, and I would get that like weekly. I buy a lot of coffee from independent coffee shops as is, but buying coffees is just getting so expensive. I feel like caffeine was giving me a little bit of anxiety. I don't really drink it much anymore. I've been trying to wean myself off of it, especially since I stopped buying Starbucks. I don't drink a lot of coffee generally. I try not to drink coffee at work. I've been having green tea. I know that's caffeine, but it ties in with that low spending in that I'm doing, because it would just give me anxiety and make me feel like I'm gonna shit myself. I would much rather buy a herbal tea if I'm gonna have to buy anything at all. But I've got a nice thermos now for carrying a tea to work. I have coffee at work if I really want to have a coffee. I don't have a coffee on an empty stomach at the moment because it would really upset my stomach, so I usually have breakfast when I get to work anyway. I know I said caffeine in general, but I'm mainly stopping buying coffee because I have a nice Nespresso machine at home. I have coffee at work. I do not need to spend that money. I've been really on my green tea vibe at the moment. Doug's just been advised to quit tea and coffee temporarily, so that actually helps me because usually he would make me a coffee in the morning as well. I'm just not that fussed. It makes me feel anxious. It makes my tummy hurt. I do really love, my favourite drink is a white chocolate mocha. This has been a long time coming because my caffeine consumption has reduced drastically since I started medication for ADHD, and I have been off of it for like the last 2 months due to the shortage issues, but mainly in the format of green tea, and then I'll have like a milky coffee on the weekend. I don't know, this out is more about the buying of the coffee. I've become a bit self-conscious halfway through this video because I think it sounds like I'm inflicting loads of like harsh measures on myself, and really this is all just more of a tone. It's more of a vibe. My sense of self-esteem and who I am as a person is not disrupted by whether or not I managed to instill these values. I know I don't need to justify that to you, and I don't need to be self-conscious on here, but I just would like to interject that. Okay, so the next one you're also going to enjoy. Vlogging is in. Vlogging's been in for everyone else, but vlogging is in for me. Specifically TikTok vlogging, and also just vlogging more on YouTube. I like vlogs. My vlogs always do really well. I like watching other people vlog. So why am I not vlogging? I often don't feel like I do a lot of stuff, or everything's fairly unremarkable. Again, this slightly like unaesthetic life thing plays into my feelings of self-consciousness around vlogging. I am also scared to vlog in public with this camera, but this year I'm making an effort. I'm gonna vlog more. If that means going out and doing more so I can vlog, I'm gonna do it. If that means vlogging more like days in my life of a slower paced vlog, that's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna vlog more on my phone and try voice over it, because one thing I do a lot is I film enough footage on my phone and then I never voice over it, and then it sits in my drafts for like 6 months and then I delete it because I think it's not relevant anymore. Everyone likes vlogs. It's just fun. It's just chill. The year is off to a good start as well, because I'm gonna vlog a lot of my holiday, so there'll be at least 2 or 3 vlogs coming out of that. I'm away for 10 days, so you're gonna get a lot of vlogging. I don't take the time when I vlog as well, so if I'm going somewhere, and this isn't always in my control, but if I'm going somewhere, it can be hard to get enough footage, or I will think I've got enough footage and then the video will end up being like 7 minutes long. And from what I've realised of looking at a lot of other people's vlogs and looking at the content that I enjoy watching, how much footage you need to get to have a long video. And a vlog doesn't necessarily need to be like about anything. You could be going somewhere and doing something and you can just sit in front of the camera and have a chat about something completely unrelated. It doesn't need to be like, we went here, we did this. This is what I'm realising. But yeah, vlogging for me is in. I really enjoy vlogging. Why don't I do it more? I don't know, you've all been asking for it. Why am I not doing it more? Even if I don't post it, I just want to document more. Like, I want to video my life more. I want to have like an archive of all the things I've done. My memory is really, really bad. It's only getting worse. And I forget a lot of the stuff I've done, and going through my computer this year and reviewing a lot of the footage I've got from the last year, filming with friends, the good times I've got, and a lot of that I've published, but sometimes it's just nice to have these things for like private. I would like to create more kind of like video diary content that's not necessarily like for the public, but you know, like a summation of like a little bit of footage every day for a month, something like that. I just think there's something like so beautiful about like archival footage. If I have to be the friend that's always like recording people and like recording other people, then I'll be that friend, because I just like never want to forget it for a single moment. It really stuck with me while I was editing my reel that I remembered how many videos I deleted on my phone to make space for more footage, and like seemingly mundane moments of like my friends or of me, or like an outfit or like a beautiful sunset that I deleted, and I remember deleting and thinking like, oh, that would have been nice in this video. And like I got so emotional editing my 2023 recap reel, or it's on my TikTok, it's on my Instagram, you can go watch it, and that was only like what, 20 seconds of footage, and I just thought like, wow, how lovely. Like if I could have one of these for every month, even a much longer version for every year, like that would be so beautiful. Some months won't be exciting, some months I'll do nothing. Like those low spending months, cool, it's gonna be me in eating rice all the time. And there's so much that we don't film, obviously, like I don't know, I cry a lot. I do record myself crying a lot, but I'm not going to include that. And I know a lot of people are like, remember, you're only seeing highlight reels of people's lives, like don't feel bad about your own life. I only want to see a highlight reel of my life. I don't know if that's like too shallow or too sounds a kind of way, but I want to like look back on a video of my year and I want to see only the very, very best things. I just want to be able to keep all that footage of those mundane moments. So I guess vlogging is in, but I mean like vlogging all the time as well. Not all the time, but vlogging, videoing everything, documenting everything. I just want to keep it all forever. I know that might not be possible, but I just want to keep it all forever. My next out is, I didn't actually like want to film this, but I feel like I need to keep it accountable. My next out is smoking. I'm specifically referring to smoking cigs. I feel like it's fairly common knowledge that I smoke, but it's obviously just like not something I broadcast. I am by no means a heavy smoker. I don't smoke at home because I think it's like kind of disrespectful, so I'll only ever smoke like if I'm out of the house. If I don't leave the house for a week, I'm not having a cigarette. So like I can't even put a number on it a day. I'm like so uncomfortable talking about this. I don't even want to put this in the video. I've been smoking a really long time as well, like on off. Like there's been periods of my life where I just like haven't smoked at all, and then I basically picked it back up again after my brother died like 2 years ago. Understandable, fine, could be a lot worse. It actually like gives me the ick talking about it, so I hope like no one thinks lesser of me. I started vaping because I thought it was a lesser evil. I've never been so unwell physically in my life as when I vaped. I had the worst cough, I felt fatigued, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, gross. Stopped vaping last year. My partner doesn't smoke, he doesn't like me smoking. So valid. It's gross. After I come back from holiday, I'm just gonna stop buying cigarettes and baccy. I just don't think it's very me. Like, it just doesn't align with, like, look at what I'm into. I'm like so holistic. I'm so into yoga and like my body's health. I'm so conscious of what I put in my body that how is that, like, the math isn't mathing. I always laugh because I do actually just like view it as one of like life's small pleasures. I'm not completely ruling out like social smoking, but I have stopped drinking a lot, so that in tune has lowered my smoking. I never used to smoke when I worked in retail because you would not be able to just like leave the shop floor, but now I work in an office, you can just like pop in and out. It's just, it's gross. I hate talking about it. It's like, I'm not embarrassed about it, but I find it embarrassing. I don't know, it just like became a thing again, and it's just not got to be a thing. I always said I'd stop smoking by the time I'm 30, so I'm just like hoping that's a reality. I've still got 2 years till I'm 30. I need to read that Alan Carr book. I just don't enjoy it anymore, and I used to really enjoy it, so why am I still doing it? Why am I still doing it when I barely do it anyway? I don't know, it's gross, it stinks, it's bad for the environment, it's bad for your health, it's bad for your skin, it's bad for your teeth. I used to just be a social smoker, and now I'm just like a smoker. I don't know, it's like cringing me out talking about it, so let's move on to the next in. Now stick with me for the next in, because I know this isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea, but low ultra processed food is my next in. In the same vein of my low spending months, I'm gonna have months where I consume like a low volume of what's classed as ultra processed food. So the definition of ultra processed food is food that typically has like 5 or more ingredients, but the ingredients are things that lead to it having a long shelf life, so like emulsifiers, stabilizers, etc. I know that sounds a bit nuts, so please just bear with me, because I'm not like an almond mum or like pushing a harmful way of eating. All food is processed to some degree, I'm very fully aware of that. Homemade bread has been processed to some degree because the flour has been made from wheat. There is an element of processing in there. I'm not blanket banning processed foods because that's near on impossible. I want to aim to have some months where I consume very, very low amounts of ultra processed food. I'm not getting rid of it completely because I think in our current like lifestyle that is somewhat impossible, and that's not how I want to start. But I want to have months where I don't eat things like ready meals, I don't eat things like crisps. I'm really keen to try this because I follow a lot of people who lead that kind of life, and also, you know me if you've been on this channel for a while, I love cooking, so I'm really interested to see where it will take me with my cooking. There's like a few reasons that I want to try do this, and it's not my intention to make anyone feel shamed for consuming those kinds of foods, because I still do, and I understand that this is very, very lifestyle dependent, and like fortunately for me, I'm able to live a lifestyle where I can make that change quite frequently and attempt to do that without it being like super disruptive. I'm interested to see how it affects how satiated I feel, so how hungry I feel, how frequently, just how I feel in general, like my natural energy levels. I had some health issues last year that I thought were low iron, but they're not low iron, they just haven't been able to figure out what they are, so I'm interested to see how maybe reducing ultra processed foods affects my fatigue and energy levels. So yeah, I'm quite self-conscious talking about that. For me, that's mainly going to look like removing supermarket bread, fizzy drinks, because I drink a lot of fizzy drinks. I already drink plant milks, but I'm going to switch to probably like Plenish almond milk, because I know that's only got 3 ingredients on it. It's like literally almonds, salt and water. I don't think my diet will change too heavily, honestly, just apart from removing some of those convenience foods. And I am thinking about doing a what I eat in a day or what I eat in a week during one of those months where I start experimenting with that. So let me know if that's something you'd like to see. I've had to put my ring light on because the curse of filming in winter is that it's getting very dark very quickly, so apologies for any change in the ambient lighting. My final out for the video is going to be a surprising one for me, and it's that reading targets are out. I have set a reading target for the last 2 years. The reading target for 2023 was 100 books. I did not hit it, and that's fine. I did 79, so there will be a December reading wrap up to follow in the next week or so, I'm hoping. But I've done a reading target for the last 2 years, and quite frankly, I don't know where to go from here. 2021 was the year I got back into reading, and I must have read around 30 books, which is what prompted me to set my 2022 target of 52. I would like to see, as now an avid and re-established reader who has rediscovered their love for reading, I would like to see where I can go without a target this year. I just like to see what I can do, what I get to, just go with my energy. I'm a bit of a mood reader, so I just pick things up as I feel. I would like to focus on reading some longer books this year, because I often neglected a lot of my longer books in favour for getting more books in that month, especially if it was like the last 2 weeks of the month. And I did a lot of that subconsciously as well without realising, which I just don't think is great. So for me personally, reading goals and reading targets are out. The only kind of goal I'm setting myself is to diversify my reading, and also, yeah, to focus on quality over quantity. I do read a lot of smut on Kindle Unlimited, which is super fine and super valid, but I have some really kind of good literature in my TBR that I'm neglecting because it's a heavier read, it's a longer read, so I just would like to get into that a bit more. If you're a reader and you're a booktuber, a book talker, I'd really like to hear what your reading goal is for the year, if you've set one, and if you haven't, why you haven't. If you've met your target, let me know. I like celebrating everyone's wins, especially book wins. And my last in, which has been a recurring theme throughout my life in 2023, is being more present. I tried to live a slower paced life in 2023, and I think I achieved that. So I just want to continue achieving that. I spend a lot of my time on screens, and I spend a lot of my time consuming content and creating content, and I'm constantly thinking ahead. I'm thinking to the upload schedule, I'm thinking to next week's uploads, I'm thinking what should I film, I'm thinking about the month's reads. I'm constantly thinking forward, and I would just like to live a little bit more in the present. That sounds like a very obvious goal for everyone, but I just want to feel a little bit more in the moment. I have a bad habit of intellectualizing everything and looking at things in retrospect, and as someone with a bad memory, that's not always the best way to do it. It was my caption on my 2023 recap, but the love of my life is the love of my life, and I just think that love is deserving of a little bit more presence. I hadn't actually given much thought to this point, because this point is hard for me to verbalise, because it's more of like a feeling. But I think while I look at everything through a lens and create content about everything, and look at everything as like an opportunity to create content, I just want to devote more time to just not being on my phone and being like fully in the room when I'm having a conversation, you know? Just like being more self-aware and like living in the now. I love looking forward to things, but I don't want to wish the time away. In 2022, I was wishing the time away. It was going without me. I just wanted to be on to the next thing. So I said I was slowing down in 2023, and I did, and the time felt slower. So if I can make this one crawl to a standstill in 2024, I will. So that's all my 2024 ins and outs. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're doing ins and outs, if any of those resonated with you, and if not, what are yours? Because I'm really curious to hear kind of what everyone's taking with them and leaving behind. If you don't do ins and outs, because fuck ins and outs, that's absolutely fine too. I'll be interested to hear if you don't like them. If you enjoyed this video today, it would mean so much to me if you left a little like, comment or a subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. My upload schedule is a little bit all over the place at the moment, but it's usually Wednesdays and Sundays in the evenings around 6ish. I'll pop all my socials in the description box below, and I will see you on the next video. Happy New Year, and thank you so much for watching.